In today's video, we're going to be going over how you can build a Retrieval-Augmented Generation chatbot, also known as a RAG chatbot, within Make.com, either for your business or for another business, which you can sell for upwards of $10,000. And trust me, I know that number sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to explain to you exactly why that's true. But before we get into the video, I want you guys to know that everything that I'm talking about in this video, I haven't been able to find anywhere else on YouTube. So this is as much free value as I can possibly give you. So please, please, please watch until the end. So I just told you that you can sell these chatbots for upwards of $10,000, and we're looking at a very simple solution here. So you're probably like, okay, what's this kid talking about? But let me explain to you why that's true. The first thing we have to understand is we got to know what RAG is. And to understand RAG, we have to know what the biggest or one of the biggest problems with artificial intelligence today is, which is not being able to handle large amounts of data. And RAG is your answer to that. It's your solution. RAG is a tool which allows you to query specific information from large amounts of text, which is crucial to build these huge chatbots that are trained on literally thousands of PDFs and thousands of pages. So what does that mean? Let me give you an example. So normally, let's say you're building a custom GPT and you want to give it to your customer base, and you have, 20 pages of FAQs. The GPT will probably be able to handle that, but much more than 20 pages, it's going to be a struggle because it's already too much. It's the token input is too much for GPT to handle, and the computational power isn't at the point where it can literally take in thousands and thousands of pages of text. So that's, again, the reason why we are going to be using RAG, and that's why RAG is going to be so powerful, because right now today there are thousands, if not millions, of businesses that need something like this implemented for them today. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what RAG is, but if not, you'll have a much better understanding by the end of the video. All right, let's jump into the automation. So I'm on my laptop right now, and all of this is being built on Make.com, but this can be built on any automation platform, so including Zapier, NAN, Make.com, Microsoft Power Automate, just to name a few. I personally think Make.com is the best automation platform for its price point, although I've heard really great things about NAN, but we're going to stick to Make.com for the sake of this video. So again, we're using RAG, but that means that we're going to be using a RAG tool, and that's what makes this video possible, is this incredible tool that I'm about to show you. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to open my browser and I'm going to type Vectara.com. So this is the RAG tool right here, and there's so much that's possible with this. This is truly an incrediable resource that there's no hype around it. No one knows what it is yet. So that's in part why I'm making this video, because I really believe that these guys deserve the recognition for creating such an incredible product. And no, I'm not sponsored. All right, so let's check out their pricing plan. So unfortunately, within the last month, they actually became paid. For the last year or so, it's been just completely free, and I've just been lucky enough to be able to mess around with it for so long. But here's their pricing plan. So first things first, you have 1 month completely free. So this is 30 days where you can just mess around with it as much as possible. And I'm pretty sure you can keep making Google accounts and, switching stuff over, but obviously not saying you should do that. So the standard plan is $50 a month. This is more than you'll need for really anything. You can onboard, 20, 30, 40 clients with just the $100 a month, or you can pay $100 a month for your own business and build multiple different types of chatbots. But for the sake of the video, we're just going to continue using the free plan, and I'm going to log in here. So this is what it's going to look like when you log in. But before we get into this, I'm going to take a quick pause here. We're going to go back to the Make.com scenario for a second so that you guys have a full understanding of what the solution is before we set up Vectara. So back on Make.com, this looks like a relatively simple automation, because in reality it is. All it is Slack, HTTP, which is pulling Vectara. Then I'm using ChatGPT and Slack again. So what I'm doing here is I've grabbed this employee training handbook from McDonald's. It's like 40 pages of just a bunch of random employee content. And essentially, we're going to make a chatbot based off of this. So normally, again, 40 pages isn't a whole lot, but it's still more than GPT would want to handle. So creating a custom GPT or an assistant, it's not going to be able to handle it that well. Now, we're going to be trying it with RAG just to show you guys how much better it is. So that's going to be the example that we use today. Again, it's just got random information about, McDonald's employee training. So that's the tool that we're going to be, querying with RAG. And essentially, we're going to be able to ask it questions. Now, all I'm using is Slack. So I'm going to ask the question in Slack, and then I'm going to get a response within Slack as well. There's so many different ways to do this. Vectara actually has a built-in chatbot interface that you can put on websites or anywhere pretty much. So you guys are, more than welcome to learn how to do that. I can also create a video on how that works. But for the time being, we're just going to use Slack. I'm just going to ask a question. It's going to query the database. ChatGPT is then going to summarize that, and then I'm going to get the answer back to me in Slack. So really simple automation. And yeah, Now let's jump back into Vectara and start setting things up. All right, back on Vectara. Unfortunately, it's kind of complicated to set things up, but that's why I have a really, really helpful resource that is going to make this a game changer for you guys. It's going to go from being really difficult to really easy. But before we get into that, we're going to go here and we're going to press on create a corpus. Now we're being prompted as to what kind of app we're building. For this, I'm just going to select semantic search. Again, this is just the querying of information, but there's 3 different options here. They let you use RAG in a conversational context. This is like for, your regular chatbot that you can put on a website. This works great. Then there's the summarize semantic search, which it just summarizes the information rather than directly pulling it from the PDF. But we're going to be using the semantic search, as I had said, which it pulls the exact information from the PDF. And the reason for that is because we already have a built-in GPT that's summarizing it in a specific way. So again, you're more than welcome to mess around with these, but for the sake of this, we're going to click on semantic search. Then we're going to name it whatever. I'm just going to call it McDonald's test employee training. All right, cool. Whatever. All right, and then I'm going to press create corpus. Now you can do whatever you want here. There's filters as well. I haven't really messed around with any of that, but yeah, we're going to press on create corpus. So now that we're in, you can already see it's asking us to add data. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add whatever PDF we have. So add the information that you have downloaded. It's going to take you here. You're going to press on file uploader. I'm going to upload the employee training handbook. All right, that took a second, but we're all set. We're going to go back, press on this data button up here, and now we have the McDonald's employee handbook PDF. All right, so before we take our next step in connecting this, we're going to go to the access controls here, and we're going to create an API key. Each time that you create a new corpus, which is just your database, you're going to create a new API key. So I'm going to press on this button. It's really simple. It'll literally just give you an API key. All right, from here, we have our API key created. We're going to leave it here for now, and we're going to head over to make.com and create our scenario. All right, we're back on make.com. And again, as I had explained earlier, I'm using Slack, but there's many different ways you can do this. I'm just going to use Slack to watch any private channel messages. I'm going to go in here and select the pre-made channel, private testing make. From now on, cool. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add an HTTP module. So we're going to say make a basic auth request. Now I already have a Vectara key. You can literally just add here and then just name it whatever. You don't need a username or password. All right, from here now we're going to have to set up the HTTP. First thing we're going to do is we're going to switch this to a post request. Now for those of you who have trouble setting up HTTP modules, I have a great resource that I built, and that is this right here. On the GPT store, I have built a Vectara RAG API assistant that makes it literally a 2-step process to setting up your HTTP module within make.com. So you're going to go to chatgpt.com, go to the GPT store. You're going to look up Vectara RAG, and we'll give it a second here. There we go. It's going to be the first one that pops up. It's the only Vectara one. Vectara RAG API assistant. We're going to click on that, and we're going to press start chat. So from here, we're going to say, hi, I need help setting up Vectara via HTTP module in make.com. Now we're going to go and we're going to provide it the information that it needs. So all we're going to do is we're going to head back over to our Vectara. We're going to copy our API key. So then we're going to say API key, paste that in. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to head back to Vectara. We're going to go to our data and we're going to click on the blue link here, the hyperlink there for our PDF. Now we're going to grab this information. So we're going to copy the JSON, press copy there, head back in here. JSON, paste that in there, put it like there for it. All right, scroll down. Now we're going to give it one more thing here. So jumping back into Vectara, you're gonna navigate to the settings tab, and then you're going to copy this information here. So you're going to copy the name, ID, key, and description, and we're going to paste that in there as well. And then I'm going to say, fill out the HTTP module for me exactly as it needs to be filled. Take me step by step. Cool. So now we've given it all of our information, and we're going to let it generate its response here, and it's going to tell us exactly how we set this up. All right, now that it's done generating, the first thing we need to do is navigate to where it spits out its URL. We're going to copy that. Head over to make.com, we're going to paste that in. Then again, we select post request, we're going to press add a header, head back over to ChatGPT, and it's going to tell us about our X API key. So we're going to copy this X-API key. It's going to be the same every time. So you can type that out if you want. And now we're going to grab the value. This is our API key. So it spit mine out for me. So from here, we have our XAPI key, our value. Normally, it'll give you an optional header. There's no need to do it. It works without it. So from there, we're going to go to our body type. We're going to select raw. And from there, we're going to select JSON. Now for the requested content, we're going to head back over to ChatGPT, copy this code here. And from there, we're going to paste it into our requested content. Okay, so real quick, I just realized that the GPT had made a mistake. So make sure that when you are putting in your URL, that GPT gave you something that ends in query. I'm going to update the GPT now, so you guys shouldn't have the same issue that I just had. But again, make sure that it ends with query for the URL. Now getting back to our requested content type, you guys can probably just copy this exactly. But for now, this is exactly what it's going to look like. We're just going to say query search limit. That's just going to grab the 10 most recent / related query results. You can change that number. So the query, I've switched to the text from Slack. So that's going to be the question that gets asked to the RAG tool. From there, we're going to press yes to parse the response. And this is exactly what it looks like when you set up your HTTP. All right, so now we have Vectara fully connected. I just tested it out myself. We got status code 200. That means it's working. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a ChatGPT module just to summarize this. I'm just going to use a simple completion. So setting it up, I'm just going to use ChatGPT 4.0. You're always going to start with system when creating these. I'm going to say your role is to summarize input data, which is given to you. I know that's repetitive, but whatever. All right, so now we're going to add our user, and I've already typed this up, but I'll read it out to you guys. You are a McDonald's employee assistant who is trained off of data from the extensive training manual. You will be given both the question and multiple answers that are pulled from a RAG tool. It will be up to your discretion as to how to best answer that question with the information provided to you. Keep it simple yet descriptive and informative. Your entire output will be directly sent to the user. Keep that in mind. Be respectful and professional. All right, so now we've got that there. We're going to add one more, and here we are. We're going to say, first off, let me delete that. So we're going to take text, so the text from Slack as the initial question. We just want the GPT to know what the initial question and the answers are, and then now we're going to map the data here. So we're going to go into data, search fields, and take I believe this is the answer right here. So take the data search results text as the answer pulled from the training handbook via RAG. We can press OK now. So now we're pretty much done. All I have to do is add one more Slack module at the very end here. So now I'm going to go ahead and save that. This automation is pretty much completely done. Now we can go ahead and test it. I'm going to go over to the employee training handbook and let's see what a complicated question might be. So I will say, let's see this one right here. It says all bills greater than $20 will be placed underneath your cash register drawer. Let's ask it about that. So again, I already have this channel made, so ignore the text before it. I'm going to say, what do I do with, what do I say, a $100 bill? Oh, and I'm going to go over here since it's not on. I'm going to make sure to run this scenario here. Boom. We're going to jump over the answer. If you receive a $100 bill, you must notify the cash manager for verification. This is an important step to ensure the security and accuracy of all cash transactions. Please follow this procedure. All right, you guys get the point. Let's check if that was correct there. It was all bills greater. Oh, look at this. I didn't even realize this. It says if you take $50 or $100 bills, you must notify the cash manager. So there you go. It's working. It is pulling the exact information. And again, there's so many different ways that you can build this. You can really build incredibly large solutions trained on huge amounts of data. Again, it just depends on how much data you're working with. And that's why you can also charge more than $10,000 for these solutions, is because most of the time you're just going to be working with a lot of data and really well organizing a lot of data. Because if you just have crappy results and not great data, then it's going to be impossible to get one of these to work with thousands and thousands of pages of information. So you need very clean data. And in reality, everything that we see here is the future of artificial intelligence. We are going to see RAG implemented more and more every day. And I guarantee you there is going to be a lot more hype and a lot more known about Vectara coming soon. But yeah, you guys heard it here first. Please, if you stayed to the end of the video, please like the video. I'm new to YouTube, so I'm trying to give as much information as possible. Leave questions below. I'm going to be commenting and replying to everyone. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and thank you so much.